December 31st, 1862. Abraham Lincoln has ordered an all-out offensive across the country to take advantage of Union material superiority over the Confederates. The strategic attack to the center at Tennessee would be executed by newly appointed commander of the Army of the Cumberland, Major General William S. Rosecrans. Rosecrans marched from Nashville to meet Braxton Bragg's Army of the Tennessee. Bragg decided to hold his ground on the banks of Stone River at Murfreesboro, a town of strong symbolic value to the Southerners. Rosecrans actually was the general who helped McClellan win his star. He was one of McClellan's generals out in West Virginia in early 1861 and won some of those early victories. I believe he was at the race at the Philippine races as well. So he was kind of an early general who won his star, but helped McClellan earn his fame. He also would replace General Don Carlos Buell, who commanded, if you remember, at Shiloh, the Army of the Cumberland, which came up to help Grant. Buell also won at the Battle of Perryville against the Confederates in their invasion of Kentucky, which was the most successful of the Confederate invasions of the North during the war. I kind of hope Perryville's modeled on the game. It should have been covered by now if it was going to be modeled. I thought it was. I thought I remember reading it on the list, but it was an 1862 fight, so it seems like they're kind of going in chronological order, so maybe not. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and fight Stones River. We'll go ahead and select this. We're going to fight this battle from the north as Brigadier General, so we'll be William Rosecrans. Okay. RW Corps, CW Corps, Cavalry Corps, LW Corps. Okay, right wing, center wing, left wing, I'm assuming. Abraham Lincoln's ordered an all-out offensive across the country to take advantage of Union, blah, 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 blah. On December 26, 1862, Rosecrans marched from Nashville to meet General Braxton Bragg's Army of the Tennessee. Bragg decided to hold his ground on the banks of Stone River at Murfreesboro, a town of strong... The two armies met on December 30th and started to deploy on the battlefield in an attempt to find a weakness on each other's flanks. Both generals made their plans to attack the next morning at the dawn of December 31st. The Union soldiers have their breakfast before they are ordered to attack. So 42,000 Union troops, 37,000 Confederates, 98 to 66 guns, 10 divisions verse 6, 4 corps verse 3. We're marching from Nashville on our mission to meet and destroy General Braxton Bragg's army. Securing the small town of Murfreesboro will not only have a strong symbolic impact on the Confederates, but will allow us to march further south and gain more territorial control of Tennessee. I believe the Union was coming up. The Confederates launched an attack. They pushed them back initially, and then the Union counterattacked or something like that. Okay, so it waits for us on the banks of the river. A frontal assault would be suicidal. It would be wiser to reinforce our left and advance. If we take the heights west of town, we can flank and push the Confederates south. Our cavalry is patrolling in this area. Tomorrow we will know if the ground is suitable for an attack. Another viable option is to attack their left, but we don't know how many rebels guard the area. We're now establishing our headquarters at Nashville Pike. Tomorrow morning we'll be ready to decide the best action. Man, these battles are much more sprawling than the new battles. The rebels decided to attack first. Enemy infantry is advancing toward our right flank. Doesn't look like we have much in reserve. Watch your center because it may be a decoy action. They're planning to attack here. Okay. I guess I'm going to bring my cavalry south. If the enemy attack on my right is serious. Looks like the enemy has some horsemen down here as well. So you can see here large enemy forces are advancing on our flank under McCook. He does not have a very wide command radius. I'm worried if they overlap our flank. You can see here they're going to not necessarily outnumber. I mean, I think we'll probably hold okay in these woods as my troops stupidly advance out of the... I don't think they would charge forward out of the woods to melee. They'd probably hold their ground. But my goal at this point is probably to just kind of hold my ground. I'm using my cavalry as kind of a mobile reserve to protect my flank at this point. But they very likely will break me. Let's pull these guys back. They're a little bit... Because, again, I don't know where the main Confederate attack will develop. Looks like my troops are retreating. I'm pulling sporadic troops out of the line. None of my troops, none of my cavalry are good at melee, but we can at least harass the enemy. Until some of my troops can get south. Otherwise, they're just going to roll my flank up. Oh, I don't want you to charge these guys. You've got, like... Ugh. Bad idea. I mean, maybe the, skirmish cavalry can charge the skirmishers, but not advised to charge these guys. I just want you to shoot your carbines at them. They're attacking north as well, but I can't tell if it's really a feint. Again, I don't really know. I don't want to pull my troops too much from their lines, but the flip side of that is I don't want to let them just roll my line up either. These guys are going to charge out on their own, though. Hold our center, which is up north here. What's the objective here? So far, everything's fine. Whatever. Cavalry charge! It's probably a horrible idea, but maybe we'll overwhelm them with horsies. Sacrificing my cavalry to save my men. Oh, wow. Nice. Die, rebels. Die, rebel scum. Okay, now pull out. No, there goes a cavalry regiment. We must withdraw. Okay. As we move north. Bragg had the guts to attack us ferociously on our right. There's no point in defending this position anymore. It's advised you rally your forces at this hill near Wilkinson and hold as much as you can. Okay. Why? My troops aren't broken on the left. I mean, they're slowly breaking, but they're not by any means totally broken. And my cavalry is actually doing a pretty decent job. Granted, I'm probably sacrificing them, so hopefully I don't really need them in the next couple of battle, or in the next couple of scenarios, but... I mean, I'm losing them. There's no doubt about that, but they're also doing good work. There, they just destroyed an enemy brigade right there. Oh, now they're attacking. There's a bit of a gap in our lines here. What do you mean by the battle's a bit bullshit in the Confederate campaign? Like, too difficult, or... So we still have quite a bit of cavalry, actually. Okay. The Rock of Chickamauga. Hold your ground, sir. Again, my troops in the south are not in terrible shape. Uh-oh. So that's why it wants me to retreat? Because the enemy has a lot of troops? I don't want you guys to charge, I just want you to volley. I mean, historically, the Union were heavily... I mean, they had many more men than the Confederates at this battle. So I guess that's what I kind of wonder. I don't know about regimental size or whatever, but, I mean, the Confederates were not... They caught the Union by surprise with their attack, but they didn't really... It's not like they should have won the battle, per se. Horsemen, I want you to ravage the enemy rear! The enemy's retreating toward us. Charge! Okay, canister fire to horses is not a recipe for success. But taking all the enemy's supplies will be helpful. Okay, this is a very defensible hill, by the way. Meanwhile, these two cavalry brigades are destroying an enemy brigade over here. Bragg retreated when the Union counterattacked, so the Union actually did outnumber the enemy in terms of the initial attack might have been even, but the total men engaged initially gave the Confederates a local superiority, but they were outnumbered by the end of the battle, and then Bragg retreated because of the Union attack. It wasn't a single-day battle, I don't believe. So I think that got it pretty right. I mean, the Union were outnumbered on the flank, or maybe things were even on the flank. But then, you know, after... Let's see here. Cavalry! Enemy artillery going away won't make this battle going forward very easy for the Confederates, although they are breaking my center pretty strongly. They really have cut my army in two. But the hope is if they have no supplies, maybe they can't do much. Not to mention no artillery. My horsemen might be worn out. I think it makes sense to swing these guys around here and then try and counter the Confederates, because they're definitely going to kind of go up and around the hill. Who are your favorite and least favorite commanders? Confederates here are kind of caught between two sides. And they're running out of ammo! Huzzah! More supplies are ours. I think this might have been the best performance of cavalry I've ever had. Now this is, again, a very sprawling battle, so I may yet still lose. But I basically have split the Confederates split me in half, and I've almost surrounded one half their army. Now my half of the army is certainly at risk of being surrounded itself. No, they recaptured their supplies, or at least one of them. Okay. Okay, so we've kind of formed a circle here to reinforce or kind of defend our hill that we've been ordered to hold. Thus far, I feel like things are going okay. I know we're split in two, but again, the fact that the enemy is surrounded is boding well. We're routing a bunch of their brigades from the field. I'm hoping that makes the follow-on battle a lot easier. They haven't really routed too many of our troops completely off the map. And we've actually destroyed a lot of their artillery. The only real damage they've done, in my opinion, that's really severe is to our cavalry, and that was kind of by choice, right? Like our intent was to allow our cavalry to be hurt a bit and use it to gain some pretty big advantages, which I think we did. And also, unlike the way Scourge of War Gettysburg works, where everything ends up exactly where it was at the end of the battle, you know, in the follow-on engagement, these battles don't always work that way, depending on the scenario, so it may not. May not matter here. You can see here more rebel brigades running completely, and I think that has more to do with the fact that we were hitting them from all sides. So we've got an hour left. We've still got to hold that hill in the north. Now the bad news is our army's cut in half. The good news is so is the Confederates. Gonna overrun those skirmishers. Wipe that unit out. Patrick Claiborne was definitely a phenomenal commander, no doubt about that. Alright, he's dead. Okay. Now the rebels do have some cavalry kind of roaming around in our rear as well. Come on, Beatty's 1,200 men. There you go. There's another enemy brigade routed from the field. Okay. I will say with this version of the game, it seems like a lot more units route through like enemy lines. Is it just me that's noticing that? And another enemy unit's gone. Again, maybe this is, I don't know, maybe it's maybe early, but it feels a little bit easy at this point. But it just seems weird that so many units end up in the rear of your lines. And another enemy unit routed from the field. I don't know if Forrest was on the field for this battle historically. Rear flanked? Where are you getting hit from? The enemy's rear was certainly flanked. This regiment's going to go bye-bye. I don't know why. See, I feel like that should be a situation where they surrender rather than break and run. Okay. Go take those supply wagons. Supply surrendered. So we kind of broke the Confederate lines in the south. And now we're shifting north. And they're not withdrawing north. We're just shifting north. As I think we destroyed about half the Confederate army. Or at least a third of it. Substantial amount no matter what. I don't know if there's follow-on scenarios for this battle or not. But if there are, they may not be that interesting. Defend Nashville Pike. Okay, so the battle's going to shift further north. General rebels are starting to surround us. It's strongly advised we withdraw and take the defensive positions at our headquarters on Nashville Pike. The rebels must not cut our escape route, which is controlled by this section of the Nashville Pike, because our whole army can be trapped and lost. Okay. I mean, I can pull back if those are my orders, but I kind of feel, you know, like we're doing okay. I know people have complained in the past that the game, you know, shouldn't make difficulty based on, you know, just giving the enemy more numbers, but it feels like this battle, maybe historical accuracy isn't the best design decision. I'll pull my troops in the north back, at least. But it doesn't feel like the enemy has much that can threaten me. It's like, oh no, they might move two regiments out of their entrenchments. What else are they trying to hit us with? I guess those troops are kind of going around us. But we've got strong defensive works we can fall back on. All right, folks, that's going to do it here for the first part of our Stones River live stream and first look at the new battle that's an Ultimate General Civil War. This live stream has been broken apart into two pieces. So the first piece is the piece that you just watched, and the second piece will come in 2 days, and you'll catch the remainder of the battle. Thus far, we're doing pretty well as the Union. The battle's been a little bit anticlimactic after the initial first Confederate assault, but we'll see if the Confederates can push up the heat now that we are quote-unquote being pushed back to our rear defenses, even though it certainly doesn't feel like that in this engagement. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to leave comments below, and until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.